guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are finally back to work on the 2021 Camaro SS1LE, and this is episode 6 of the rebuild. So in today's video we are going to be doing a whole lot of stuff. We're going to be putting in the brand new suspension. We got all the frame pieces painted up, as you can see back there, and then over here I have the tie bar. That's all painted up, that's all going in, the cooling system's going in, the wiring is getting fixed. This whole car is basically going to be put together except for the body panels. It's still going to be missing a few things here and there. So yeah guys, I'm super excited. This car's going to take a lot of shape today. It's going to have its frame rails put in, and we can connect up all the wires and all the grounds. So without any further ado guys, let's go ahead and get those frame rail ends and let's slide them in. So this is the upper tie bar right here. It came out super good. The paint match is really good. These are the frame rail end pieces. I'm super excited to pop these in. Give the car shape again. I'm super excited for it. And look at how well the paint matches up to it. It's like a near perfect match right there. Super sick. So this one is for the driver's side, and it'll just slide right in. If you guys remember from the teardown episode, we had to drop the subframe a little bit to get access to the bolt that goes right here. So gotta do that again, gotta drop the subframe, and then I have to locate all the parts for this car because there's a lot in here and we have to figure out where they are. And then we also have to figure out the parts that we have to take out from here, like some nuts and bolts and some rubber bushings and baffles and stuff. It's been a while since I've even touched this car, so I'm super excited to get back to work on it. So let's just put those frame rails in, the tie bars, and let's get to work. And just like that, both frame rails are in. So now we're going to pull the bolts on both of these sides right here. And then after that, we're going to drop the subframe and get the two that are on the bottom. Alright, so I got the 4 screws on each side of each frame rail. Now I have to drop the subframe a little bit and just do the one on the bottom. Alright guys, so I got both frame rails completely on. So now what I want to do is I'm going to mock up the upper tie bar to make sure that the rails are completely straight. Because this car, after that tie bar lines up, this car has zero frame damage. The frame is completely repaired on it. So let's give it a shot. Look at that guys, zero frame damage. It is completely fixed. Everything lined up beautifully. So I can go ahead and screw this in, and I can start routing all the wires, and I can put in the whole cooling system into this thing. So let's get started. Alright guys, ran into a little issue. I couldn't locate the screws that I had organized for this part right here. Turns out that they're still left onto the old bracket because it snapped off and everything. So I got those screws now. Alright guys, check this out. Got the upper tie bar in, the frame rails and the rebar. Everything lined up perfectly. Everything is in. I couldn't be more happier about the fitment on this. I love the way that the GM designed this car with everything being bolt-on. It saves so much hassle. I also have this painted for the other side, the passenger side. So they go like this. So next up, I think I'll clip all these wires back in and put the Camaro cover back on, and then I'll start working on the suspension next. So next up, we're doing the suspension. I'm gonna pop on that cover right there. And then we'll see what we gotta do next. Let's go ahead, put that cover on, then let's do suspension. Alright, the engine cover's on. Now let's do the suspension. Alright, it took a while, but I finally located all the parts. So the parts that I found are the control arms, both of them, the sway bar end link, and the strut, and then a bunch of nuts and bolts that I had to figure out where they went, because I totally forgot where they all went. It just looks super complicated. So I have them all here. One super cool part that I'll show you guys at the end is the caliper. That is a super cool piece to this suspension area that I'll show you guys. Alright guys, so the suspension is looking absolutely flawless. These parts are so shiny and so cool looking. And this is a magnetic ride strut right here. This thing lets the car do some really cool stuff. So what these do is they adjust to the road of what the car is driving on. So if there's like a bump up ahead on the road, somehow it knows and it is able to soften it for you and stuff. And then they can also stiffen up for track handling. These struts are specifically made for track focused vehicles. Another cool thing is this car has 2-piece rotors for the 6-piston Brembo brakes. This car has one of the coolest brake setups I've seen. I have the rotor right here, right next to me. So here, take a look at this. This is a 2-piece rotor. It's huge. It's kind of heavy. That's super cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this on. We can put the caliper on too, and then I'll do the end link. So let's do it. And there's also a few little knickknacks here that I've noticed that I need to order. There's the ABS wheel line sensor. Need to get that. I thought this had it on it because I got this. Every component here is brand new except for this knuckle and hub assembly. I got a really good deal on that because it had a bunch of stuff already on it. The knuckle and the hub. Alright guys, I got the rotor on, I got the end link on, and this car is starting to look super sick. It was already super sick, but now it's just more sick. You know what would make this better? A 6-piston caliper. Guys, look at how sick this is. This was such a hard piece to get. This was on back order for so long. This took, I think, 3 months to come. It didn't stop us though. We did a lot of other different things on the car, even though a lot of other stuff was on back order for a long time too, even this rotor. I wanted to show you guys this caliper up close. Look at the 6 pistons inside. So there's 1, 2, 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3 on the other. That is a lot of stopping power. This thing's gonna stop on a dime. It's gonna stop super quickly, but it's just such a crazy, this is such a sweet color too, and so is the car. But this is just such a cool part, and I think it's the coolest car part that is going on this car. So let's go ahead and put this on the car now. I got this caliper and rotor setup on. I can't tighten down the bolts all the way because there's no pad on it. So if I tighten it, these metal things on the side of the caliper, they'll start hitting against the rotor. But I got this cap right here to cover up this. So there, now that's on. We're doing the wiring now. So we're splicing this one, I think, here, and then the other one we're going to be splicing here because we just need the ends of them. We don't need to replace the whole chassis wiring harness and the whole engine harness. The engine wiring harness is getting spliced from like here or so. We just need this end part of it. And then this chassis wiring harness. This is the whole car's like electricals. This is everything. We don't need to replace all that. So we're just going to splice it here because we just need these 4 connectors. So we're just splicing here. I'm going to put the coolant bottle back in here, and then I'm gonna put in the fuse boxes and the ECU bracket and the TCM bracket. I'm gonna put all that stuff in. we need to go ahead and put our brand new air deflector on. Alright guys, so I got the radiator, the condenser, and the fans. So let's take these three components, put them all together, and then put it on the car. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I put on the transmission cooler too. It took a little bit to figure out how these brackets actually went. I got the shield of it on too. So this is all good to go. The whole cooling system is basically good to go except for the auxiliary radiators. So now I'm going to just get some parts from that upper support from there. There's a couple screws there, and I have some new diagonal braces. That one's right there, that's bent. And just put those on, and a new hood latch, so let's do it. Alright guys, so I got the auxiliary radiator in and all the ducts, and this thing is absolutely genius. So right here you can see a tube that comes out right here, and it hits this deflector which cools the rotors. Now here's the cool part of it. Up here in the front you got two massive ducts catching air. This one catches air and cools the auxiliary radiator, brings it out here, and then there will be a mesh grill right here that's attached to the inner fender, so that gets cooled that way. Then over here, this duct takes air, it feeds all the way through that, and it comes out this tube, and it carries through here into that rotor. That's a cool setup right there. That looks absolutely amazing. I had to replace this auxiliary radiator with a new one. This is the old one, and you can see it got punctured pretty good right there, and it was leaking fluid and everything. This one, on the other hand, is pretty good. It's in really good condition. It's not leaking or anything. It just needs the new shrouds, which I have up here. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I put the auxiliary radiator on this side, and I had to take it off a few times because I forgot to put the vacuum pump on, and then I had to do this bracket too. So I got this bracket on, the vacuum pump hiding away back there, and the auxiliary radiator, and I even got the cold air intake's baffle on, with this baffle on right here. Now it's time to put on the cold air over here. Alright guys, I got the cold air on. I went ahead and I cleaned it up a little bit too. This engine bay is starting to look really nice. Then we got some wire work going on over here. Yeah guys, after wire work is done, we're gonna put in the fuse box and route all the wires through. We got a bunch of wiring harnesses that we need to route through. So anyways guys, I'll see you tomorrow in the morning. Alright guys, so it is the next day now. So today we're gonna be putting in the cowl assembly, the wipers, the wiper motor, and just, you know, all the dress plastics that go up there and whatever else that goes up there we're gonna be putting in. And we're also going to be doing some wire work. So yesterday, we already repaired a few wires. This one doesn't even look like it was ever broken. But if you guys saw this one, it was, this whole pigtail was completely missing. And this one was fine from the start. This one was destroyed, the connector and everything. So this connector was replaced. The wires are all good. So can't even tell any of these things were ever fixed. Then over here, this is a whole wiring harness. Runs up here, goes here, and then goes up under there and comes over here too, goes down here, over here, one connector goes there, and the other connector comes out and goes over there, and then this connector comes here and goes here. So this is a wiring harness. I just went ahead and I routed this through, and I went ahead and I put this in, so that's all good. So if you guys remember from part 2, I said to label all the bags with what screws are in there. So this one right here says cowl on it, and this is all the screws for the cowls. So just like that, it's super easy to put stuff together. All you gotta do is just label your bag and put the right screws in there, and it's as simple as that. So now I just go grab the part and I can put it on the car. Super easy. And just like that, guys, we got the whole cowl assembly on and the wipers and everything. Everything went down smoothly, no problems. Everything's lining up so well on this car. Right now, we are finishing up all the wiring on the car. I got the booster box set up. Let's see. All right, guys, so I'm just going to turn it on. And if it turns on, I'm immediately shutting it off just to see if it starts. Yeah! Alright, guys. It's time to show you guys exactly what went wrong. It was not the wiring that we had fixed. All that wiring was completely good. So what happened was, a while back I was working on this thing, and I was trying to look at the engine wiring harness. And I looked at the engine wiring harness. I got everything that I needed to get. I was trying to find part numbers and stuff. And I remembered that I unhooked spark plugs under here. I put all those back. I put everything else back here, I put everything back, but I remembered that I was doing something in the back over here. So I put my hand back here, and I found one unhooked wire. So I went ahead, I plugged it back up, and now it started. So it was messing with the fuel rails. I saw it on the code reader. It said that the code that popped up, it was for the fuel rail. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember messing with the fuel rails a while back. So I looked back there and I found the wire. So it starts up. That's great. All the wiring is good. We can put it all back together now and we're good to go. All right, guys. So that is going to be a wrap for today's video. We got a tremendous amount of work done today. We got all the frame structure stuff, set it into place. Everything lined up perfect. We got the cooling system in, part of it. We had to take it back out, but the auxiliary radiators and the transmission cooler, it's all still in there. We got the car started for the first time again with all new wiring harnesses. We got all the wiring harnesses replaced. We just did a bunch of work on this car. We even got that sick cold air intake in there. But guys, that is going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.